Given the popularity of dual cab utes and four-wheel drives in Australia, I reckon this is the haul that a lot of you are going to be interested in. This is the off-road and performance off-road modification haul, basically. Fair to say they like a Jeep Wrangler in here too. However, let's go for a quick walk through here and I'm going to try to find 5 or 6 highlights for you to take a closer look at. Call me parochial, but I love seeing this at any SEMA show. ARB, a great Australian company, a renowned Australian company, and in fact, if you're modifying an off-roader in Australia, it's probably the first company that we will recommend to you regardless of the vehicle that you own. They're here in a big way at SEMA. They've got a whole bunch of their products here. Obviously this is all their gear for a Jeep Wrangler, but they've got fridges and bull bars and all manner of other things, and it's just fantastic to see a legendary Australian company like ARB representing itself so strongly on the American market. I will admit that I've been stuck in traffic on my way to work in Sydney, and this is probably the case for you whether you live in Melbourne, Brisbane or any of the other capital cities, and I've thought, I wonder how I could make my commute to the office a little easier. Well, I think I've found it. You could buy this thing, don't know how much it costs, and you could just drive over the top of everyone as if they weren't there. Snowmobile tracks for it to get obviously through heavy snow, but you can probably use them anywhere. On the other side, there's million-inch wheels if you want to swap these out for the wheels, and on the back there's 2 snowmobiles. Don't ask me how they get up there. There's probably some hydraulic load system to get them on and off easily enough, but when I said to you that you can see anything and everything at SEMA, I meant it, and this is the kind of thing I was referring to. There's a couple of things about this Ram that stick out as being interesting, and they're worthy to make note of across the whole SEMA off-road haul that we're in at the moment. First of all, there's the rooftop tent and all the other accessories that you get with the vehicle, but there's also this paint finish. Now, you'll be familiar in the tray with a product called LINKHERE that we've seen a lot of, and more utes in Australia coming with this as standard. So it's like a ripple finish spray-on liner that stops the tray from getting beaten around and rusting. But what they started to do probably 5 or 6 years ago at SEMA was painting the whole outside of the car in LINKHERE as well. So this stuff's as tough as nails, and you can see here that there's actually a ripple finish over the whole vehicle. The other thing I really like about this Ram is the fact that it's got this decked tray insert, I guess you'd call it. It's made from recycled plastic. We bumped into the guys from Decked Australia the other day, so these are imported into Australia and fitted to dual cabs that we have back home. I really like the system. The drawers are rated to 100 kilograms each. They've got drain holes in them, fill them up with ice and drinks, use them as an esky. They're designed to just be beaten around and mistreated. I also like the fact that this at the top here has got a 900 kilogram limit for utes back in Australia, so you can still use the payload. They're as tough as nail, they're made from recycled plastic, they're actually functional and they're waterproof, so you don't need a canopy. I reckon this Ram's got one of just about everything you'd ever want to fit to a dual cab. So a couple more features of this decked system that we really like. First of all are the way that you hold it in there. So these slide through the actual unit itself and into the tie-down hooks that are already in the tray. So there's no extra drilling required. Because the top of it has a structural steel skeleton, you can actually drill into it. So you can put in things like mounts for this fridge in this case. And the best part about it too is because it lifts the deck surface up above the wheel arches inside the tray, and it's rated to 900 kilos, you can actually fit 2 pallets across it, whereas you can only fit 1 in on a normal dual cab ute. I would have thought that a really hardcore rock crawling buggy with a monstrous engine of its own would have been enough for most people, but no. Apparently you need a Ram 3500 heavy duty with the rock crawler and all the tyres, 4 of them, spares, and all the fuel that you need to carry for a weekend away. This thing is absolutely insane, and you can tell by the scarring on the wheel rims and underneath that this buggy has actually been used. Apparently, there's no pulley system. You actually have to drive this thing up onto it, the guys were telling us earlier today, and I don't know, you'd want to be pretty brave to be doing that because it's a steep angle and you wouldn't want to go over the edge and end up driving over the truck. This thing is absolutely unreal. Now, if you've been watching this insight into the off-road haul and you've been thinking, why haven't they shown me a Jeep Wrangler? Well, it's because we couldn't find one. Jokes. There's one on every stand, or more than one in most cases. We particularly like this one for no special reason other than the fact it kind of illustrates all the kinds of things that you have to do to a Jeep Wrangler to get noticed here at SEMA. Jack it up, massive big tyres, proper off-road wheels with bead locks, some kind of custom front bar, usually a winch, and then do something custom to the body. But it's fair to say, in the United States, they love the Jeep Wrangler, and if you like Jeep Wranglers, you'll find thousands of them at SEMA. Here's another well-known Australian name, Patriot Campers. Again, great to see them here displaying at SEMA, and judging by the crowds that have been around this stand during the day when the show's open, Patriot Campers is resonating over here. Really high quality campers themselves and canopy units for four-wheel drives, and they've entered the American market, apparently with a whole lot of success. They're really high quality gear that they build. We really like it. It's very impressive stuff. And as I said, great to see Australian products over here making headway in the United States. All I've ever wanted to do was star in a spaghetti western, but I reckon that ship has sailed, and not wearing cowboy boots anyway. Here's another well-known Australian name, TJM, and once again, it's seriously impressive to see them representing Australia in the United States. Well-known brand in Australia, stores all over the country, and moving into the American market with a whole deal of success as well. They've got some modified vehicles here, showcasing all their products. Well known for their suspension actually originally, but showcasing all their other products as well. And that just about wraps up our walk through the off-road section. Like I said, we've shown you a small highlight of the stuff that's on display here, because again, like the muscle cars and even like the manufacturers, we'd be here for weeks trying to show you everything. We hope we haven't missed anything that you really wanted to see, but thanks for taking a walk with us through the off-road section at SEMA 2018.